Chargers and the Saints. All that and more coming up next.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. We count down to kickoff in what should be an epic one here, as it'll be the AFC champion LA Chargers taking on the NFC champions, the New Orleans Saints. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And CD, you look at these LA Chargers, champions of the AFC, making just their second Super Bowl appearance. And first, of course, since the move back to Los Angeles, and coincidentally, trying to be the second consecutive LA team to win a title.
And they are certainly hoping that this game works out better than their first Super Bowl appearance, a 23-point loss to San Francisco in Super Bowl 29.
Meanwhile, for the New Orleans Saints, what a ride this year under Dennis Allen. He takes over for Sean Payton, instills what seemed to be a new sense of purpose in his players, and they find themselves in the big game for just the second time in franchise history.
Partner, you've got to tip your hat to them because we remember that string of really tough playoff losses. But how about this franchise persevering? They had a sensational draft, an even better offseason, and they gelled as a unit, and now they have a chance to hoist the Lombardi Trophy for a second time.
And we will not have a return, so the first drive of the Super Bowl will begin at the 25. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. Bringing them out in his 8th year out of Florida State, the former Heisman Trophy winner, Jameis Winston.
When he was the #1 overall pick back in 2015, we certainly envisioned Jameis Winston eventually leading a team onto the field on Super Bowl Sunday. He has helped New Orleans remain competitive in the years after Drew Brees and avoid any kind of a rebuild. Now he's trying to match Brees with a Super Bowl title of his own.
They begin on the ground with Kamara, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. But Charles, as we've covered, they've already clinched their spot in the postseason, so now they just want to avoid adding any additional names to this list before the postseason begins.
Terrific observation, because trying to move up a spot, I don't know if it's worth it if you're trying to play guys who aren't quite right. Get them healthy, make your move then.
Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. On 3rd down, Winston. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Derwin James with a pick, and they take possession of the football and have it at their 36-yard line.
You know how it is.
Certainly not how he wanted to
and I got my son right here.
Throw of the game, an INT.
Yeah, it's not easy, but he's got to try and wipe that one away from the memory banks. And let's face it, it's not often a quarterback and a defensive back have a lot in common.
Super Bowl right now.
One thing, because they have these individual
Calmado,
type plays,
calmado.
they've got to have short memories, don't they?
Hey,
DB gets beat, wipe it away, quarterback throws a pick, has to do the same thing.
So excellent starting field position here for the Chargers.
I need to get him to 600 yards. So I got
to
throw
Justin
600
Herbert.
yards.
How about this for perspective about what Herbert has done this season? The last time the Chargers were in the Super Bowl, he hadn't even been born yet. Now, in only his 3rd season, the kid from Oregon has taken the Chargers over the hump and into Super Bowl Sunday.
After the turnover, here's Herbert.
Oh,
He tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the Honey Badger.
That's my problem. I throw bullets all the
Saints are going
time.
to take possession here at their own 33.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. Ball into a tight spot, and if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there, and sure enough, this one's going the other way.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Winston. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. To throw, Winston. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands.
This next play is my
man
shit.
Coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Fielded at the 20.
And I'm out. Bitch. Let's get it. I just stiff on his ass.
The Chargers get set to go here for their second drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And he's brought down. The pickup goes for 13 and sets him up 1st and goal.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, he just did the tip of the ball across the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and.
And he's in for a Charger touchdown. With a first touchdown of this Super Bowl and a long one at that. And the Chargers are on the board first here in this Super Bowl. So a good job there, Charles, taking advantage of the short field, and they score first, punching it in on the short touchdown run.
I love the theme there, right? They didn't have to do anything big on that drive. Took advantage of where they were on the field, took it downfield, put the ball in the end zone. The only thing big on that drive, the 6 on the scoreboard.
And he will get in to make it 8-0. And they're able to ground it in there on the 2-point try. And you and I were talking before the game. The 2-point conversions from the 15-16 season, what has changed, what hasn't changed, partner?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's changed is just your normal strategy, because now you're either kicking the football with the ball on the 15-yard line, or if you decide to go for 2, they put it on the 2-yard line. So what are you thinking as a coach? Do I risk it? Do I go for it here? Do I try and gain a strategic advantage and maybe go for 2 early? That's what people are wondering about.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They trailed early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Winston. There's Chris Olave. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, give him 14.
It's a nice completion and a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Winston. He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. On 2nd down, Kamara. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
Franco is always fucking
Hold on
getting
here, because
hurt.
on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, they come out and take a look at him. We will step aside for just a moment. Winston now from the 50. And his throw here's incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive. And a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Winston to give. It's Kamara. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Jameis to throw it. Looking for Landry, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kenneth Murray. And the Chargers are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field. They'll have good field position at midfield following the turnover as they start with a first down here. Eckler now between the tackles. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. That one good for 13 and a Charger first. This Super Bowl, of course, just a huge one for this head coach. The first time he's walked the sidelines in a game of this magnitude. And
I'm not taking chances.
Cliche, what's going through his mind right now? But maybe the better question, CD, what do you think are the pitfalls of being a first-time head coach in this game?
Well, you know it's something that he thought about, Brandon, and he had to, and he was thinking about it long before he got to this stage. As the season progressed, and he saw that his team was good, if he was smart, he started to make plans right then and there. Reach out to other coaches who've been there before. Find out how they handled winning, losing, handling all the ticket situations, travel, practice, all those things. And then trust your gut, make your best decision, and put it all out there and give your team the best chance to win.
Well, welcome back to the date on the calendar we circle every year. Super Bowl Sunday. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis here with you as we get set to begin quarter 2. 2nd and 5 now. Herbert. That's caught right side by Palmer. And the Chargers are going to have a 1st and goal as he'll be taken down at the 7-yard line.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially
he finds his receiver, Williams, for a Charger touchdown.
Come on, baby.
A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Chargers continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl. They're going to try and run. And he's going to be hit and taken down in the backfield. Just nowhere to run that time. And the try for 2 is snuffed out. Well, split the difference, and they're right where they would have been with 2 PATs. They got the 2-point conversion the first time. They failed there.
Interesting, isn't it? Because the first time you go after your first score, that feels like a gamble. The second time when they tried it again, that felt like, what the heck, right? Because, as you said, even if you miss it, you split the difference, and you're right on schedule at 14 points.
And from the end zone, Deontay Hardy will bring it out. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line. Set to take over once again. Out comes the Saints offense. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Flushed out right. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line. It's a sack.
That's right, baby. That's right.
Wind up losing a full 9 yards
right.
here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field,
Any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
Oh, that was a good play.
It'll be a pickup of 16, but they'll remain short of the marker, and it's fourth down.
16.
Here's Blake Gillikin now. He'll look to set up his blockers. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Now the Chargers offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, it could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched?
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. Touchdown, Allen.
Like I said, you can't fuck with me. I need to go
Super Bowl. And the Chargers are feeling good to extend their lead in the Super Bowl. Talk about just coming in and completely seizing momentum. They can go up 21-0 here. We haven't even hit halftime.
And the other part of this, you can start to feel the unrest here in the stadium. I think these fans are saying, what hit us? And this isn't about fantasy points. This is about rooting their team on.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. And it is now 21-0. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And this, you'd hate to say that a drive in the first half must end in points, but you're down 21-0. They're going to have to get something going fairly quickly.
I would agree totally with that, because if you're going to mount the comeback, it's going to have to come in bits and pieces. It doesn't just all come at one time, right? We haven't seen anything more than a 6-point touchdown ever in this game, right? So that's how it has to be done. Get points on the board now. Start your comeback. But you're exactly right. Let's get it going right here in this spot.
On 2nd and 11 now. Winston. And that one going to come up short. Low throw.
I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with. Some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting 50% thus far.
Certainly that has played a big role in why they are trailing right now. Open is Michael Thomas. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Jameis now on 1st down. Going right back to Michael Thomas. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Winston. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. The completion. Wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. 2 minutes on the clock in the 2nd quarter of this Super Bowl. A here coming up at intermission. We'll get highlights of this Super Bowl from Jonathan Coachman and the crew in Orlando for our EA Sports halftime report. There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 28. Now Winston. Oh, he catches it off the tip. It wasn't even intended for him.
That was good. I'm not even mad about that.
Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. To throw again on second down. Winston. Thomas has got it. Complete. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. To throw is Winston. That's complete to Troutman right side. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. Throwing again on second down. Winston. And Jameis intercepted a third time. Picked off by Asante Samuel Jr. Chargers
Let's go, baby.
Use their third and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. The Charger drive about to get going. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try to add to your lead. A mistake there.
Okay.
That can change things in a big way. I say go ahead and take the knee. Get on out for the half. I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. And they can put their back against it and know exactly where they are.
Oh, now backing up, and he's out of the end zone. The referee was right there to call it, and that is a safety.
Every team has plays in their book to try to buy some room, but a safety's on the table. But a big variable is how does each team deal with the pressure of executing in those situations. In this case, they didn't, and they gave up 2 points.
So after that safety, now a free kick situation forthcoming as they punt it away from the 20. Returnable here for Callaway. And the Saints going to go on offense one final time in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He gets it to Thomas. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. Looking to throw again on second down. Winston. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. So now after the sack, Winston and the Saints needing to figure out what to do. Tough play, 3rd and long. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He's got him in, complete. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. So we've reached halftime here in the Super Bowl. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. What a season this has been. Hard to believe it ends tonight, as we'll get back to you guys for the second half of this Super Bowl in just a moment. With that, we take a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Chargers, and you'll see they've had success running the football, and that bodes well for their chances of lifting that Lombardi trophy. Meanwhile, for the Saints, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football, and they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break. Both teams with some extra time to prepare during this long halftime break, but we're about ready to restart the second half of Super Bowl 57. So let's get back out to Arizona and Brandon Gaudin.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And now off to the races down the right side. He will score. Touchdown, Chargers. Such an electric play, so much fun to watch, and you need all 11 guys in sync for that to be successful, don't you?
Without a doubt. That's teamwork to be able to put it all together. But that play is really probably the most exciting 10 seconds in football.
The quarterback will keep it himself. And he is not going to get into the end zone here, although there is a flag down, but this could very well be a hold anyway. Now, they had stopped him for a loss on the run anyway, so they'll decline that.
It's almost a good psychological advantage, isn't it? You created a penalty, and you still couldn't gain yards against us. No way we need to take that one.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. And so far, in terms of putting points on the scoreboard, it's been defense 2, offense nothing. But they'll have a chance to put together a first scoring drive this go-around. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
On 2nd and 12, Winston. They'll get this out to Kamara. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 4. And 3rd and 8 now. Now Winston. And that will be incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
Here comes Carter. It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. L.A. readies for its next possession. Well, it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD, and now here as they begin their first series of the second half. I mean, they scored here. This one, it's pretty much out of reach.
We honestly might already be at that point, partner, because this team, they were dominant in the first half, continue to be dominant now, and I think they're viewing this as a put-away drive on the way to a lopsided victory.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Herbert. Flush to his right. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game. But that's something right there. Still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
They'll try to get the offense going with Kamara, and it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I see a shake in the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. He's got room at the 30. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
They're still looking for their first touchdown of the game, and for a second, I thought they had it right there.
Now looking on the sideline, it's finally good to see nods of approval. It's a welcome sign of life that this offense needed. A 10th carry for Kamara. They'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. And now the Chargers are going to look up here and signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Kamara gets it again on 2nd down. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down and 6. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Winston now. Looking middle, and that's complete. And the Saints are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw. And nice work after the throw. And they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, you don't often see a lot of 1st down carries by a fullback, and this is probably why. Often better suited for short yards and goal line types of situations. This last carry went for a loss.
They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. Well, that ground game just continues to struggle to really get any momentum in this ball game, Charles. And I mean, you're at the point here, 3rd quarter, down 4 scores, probably going to have to put it in the air.
Oh, no question about it. So that's your only chance, your only opportunity. But think of the pressure you just put on your offensive line, because if you're a pass rusher, you're not even thinking about them running the football. All you're doing is getting into that sprinter stance and going after the quarterback.
Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. Touchdown, Saints. Alvin Kamara.
I've never had a motherfucking scored. I guess only.
Didn't have anything downfield, swung it out to the flat. He did the rest.
Such a staple of so many offenses we see now. You know, in our discussions with offense coordinators, how many times do they tell us, hey, this offense is designed for either a touchdown or a check down. We saw the check down on that play, and boy, was it successful.
We saw a touchdown, too. Will Lutz on for the point after. And oh, it's blocked. This is going the other way. There he goes, right side. The 40.
Yeah.
Past the
Whatever.
20. And he takes it all the way back. And this crowd can't believe what they're seeing. Things go wrong even after a touchdown in this one.
Well, I think there was a lot of surprise from the kicking team there. After the block, they kind of froze and then realized, oh, wait, they can return this, and they returned it all the way.
And you know why they froze? Not often do you get that second sound, right? There's the kick, you hear that, and then there's that second thud when there's a block. That's when people freeze and they have to realize where the ball is. They picked it up and took it the other way.
You're fucked,
A
bitch.
nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Charger defensive unit making their way back out there. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
And they'll run the option to start the drive.
And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
And he'll decide to keep this once more.
Okay.
And he will lose yards here back at the 23-yard line.
Okay.
This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
It's not that hard, my nigga. It's not that hard.
Just one more quarter remains in the season-long race for the Lombardi Trophy here at Super Bowl 57 from Glendale.
We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Folks, welcome back to the biggest stage in sports, the Super Bowl, and now we get down to the good stuff, the fourth and final quarter.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Here's Herbert. Being chased out left.
This one incomplete. Probably should have been picked. A little nonchalant with a throw to the safety valve, but it's 4th down.
Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. On 4th down, Herbert. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The 4th down play doesn't work for the Chargers. And now, goodness, possession's going to go over right at the 10-yard line. Apparently they weren't interested in playing the field position game. They opt to keep their offense out there. A big mistake in hindsight.
Yeah, that one backfired, and hindsight's always 20/20, but let's call it what it was. We would have first guessed that one and said, don't do it here. Bad situation. I think they need to be closer to midfield before I would start to think it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And once you start taking risks like that, you're going to have to keep taking them throughout the game, especially when they don't work.
Yeah, at this stage of the second half, interesting.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
From the gun, Winston. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Here's Winston. Touchdown! Jarvis Landry, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Saints have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Luntz good on the extra point, and the lead will be cut down to 14. After the touchdown, Luntz to kick it off.
From his end zone, here comes Carter.
Oh, good return up past the 30. Past midfield. And he's loose again. And he will score. Touchdown, Chargers.
Again, every part, I get fired up. 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns in the same game. This is fun to watch.
Yeah, we call a lot of games at a lot of different places. Sometimes it seems like we do it simultaneously, but we rarely get to see this. Chargers going to use their 3rd and final timeout. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this 4th quarter.
And they'll have Herbert try and throw for it.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us. Because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation. This time, unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw.
And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense.
Those Super Bowl hopes that they had really dwindling now here in the 4th quarter. That NFC crown that they got 2 weeks ago seems like a distant memory as they have been outplayed tonight.
On 1st and 10, Winston. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back.
And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
Holding offense.
So they will tread backward on the holding penalty.
And I know that they're going to get coached up and they'll get yelled at a little bit, but let's face it, it is hard not to do at the speed and pace that they play.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception.
Picked up by J.C. Jackson. And the Chargers will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line.
Another solid game-changing play for this defense for the interception. At this point, though, I don't know that it's game-changing. I mean, they've got this one in firm control.
And you always hear about, those stories about someone left their game plan behind and maybe you benefit from it. I'm not going to say that that happened, but they certainly have appeared on defense to be a step ahead this entire game. Guys are always in the right spot in order to make a play.
The offense has had its moments, too. Chargers in good field position to start out. 1st and 10 at the 45. After the turnover, here's Herbert. That's into the hands of Eckler. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. To throw again on 2nd down. Herbert. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
That's not the first time they've gone his way on this drive, and they were obviously keyed into him because they were there to help break that pass up.
Herbert wants to throw it on 3rd and 1. Throw left side, take it in by McKinney. And he is out of bounds inside the 35.
Holding. Offense.
Well, they were looking to throw, holding on a big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Going to throw on 3rd down with Herbert. Hard throw, incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here we go on 4th. Herbert. It's caught on the right side. Williams. He's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Facing a 4th down, they come away with 18 yards and the 1st down conversion. And that was just a good job there of being mobile and creating something.
Being able to extend a play and get people open. More time to run with the football. That's a really nice job there.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38. Up the middle with Eckler. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. And it appears we have a Charger shaken up on that last play. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. First down, and they stick with Eckler. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from blocking.
Let's go, baby.
Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And a couple of yards as they move it from the 20 to the 19.
Go them, man.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there.
But this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
They snap it to Herbert. That's to his running
1st down.
Complete. And the Chargers are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. They've got it first and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. Off the play fake to Eckler, it's Herbert. He's got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Chargers. Donald Parham from 8 yards out. And the Chargers are starting to point on to the game's biggest stage. They are running away with this Super Bowl.
This is why a lot of play callers love play action in this spot. You just want to freeze the linebackers just for a second. Then you got a chance to get a quick pass into your tight end right behind them for a touchdown.
Here's Hopkins now for the extra point. Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And it's caught inside the 5. And he gets in. And no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. It's a squib kick that still makes its way down inside the 15. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The New Orleans offense set to take over. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film section in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Winston on target to Olave for the Saints first. And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
But we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants this lead to stay right where it is. Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Winston. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And picked up by the Chargers. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
After review of the play, ruling on the field is reversed.
So that will overturn. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. First down, Winston. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is...
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. One last shot now for Winston. And now here is another interception. Derwin James with a pick. And the Chargers come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. And the Bolts have done it. The Los Angeles Chargers are the Super Bowl champions. For the victors getting to hoist that Lombardi trophy, you know, we've talked to guys that have done it, and they say there's no better feeling in sports.
I don't know how there can be. The journey to get to this game is incredible. And then to finally break through and win it when all eyes are on this game alone because there's nothing else going on, that's just got to be absolutely amazing. The task, incredible. But the accomplishment, forever.
You know what it is? Charger Nation all day, every fucking day. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Turn me up. Yeah. Hey, check it. Okay, I feel unstoppable. Losing's impossible. Go against the team, the thing they know not to do.